It's time for AggroChat, the official podcast of the Tales of the Aggronaut blog and stalwart gaming community, where we talk about stuff and things, and the stuff about the things, and sometimes gaming. I'm Belgast, and let's start the show.
Hey folks, it's that time again. Time for another episode of AggroChat. This is episode 539. Tonight I'm joined by Ammo.
Hello.
Ashgar.
Hello.
Grace.
Hello.
Kodra.
Daramash.
Tam.
Hello.
And Thalen.
Hi there.
So, I have been singing the praises of Destiny Rising, but y'all know that I could just be insane because I am insane about specific things. But Grace has now joined me in the game and can actually offer a competitive opinion.
Yeah, I'm not skeptical, but I recognize the amount of fanaticism that you have, Belle, and so I went into this with a grain of salt, but actually, holy cow, this is more fun than Destiny 2, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, very much so.
It's just solidly good. There's a story happening. They explain who all these every single one of these groups of enemies are, where they came from, and I don't hate any of the gacha characters. Like, some of them are better than others, but even the waifus have full armor on, which I appreciate. Yeah, it's just really solid. Like, every time I log in, I am shocked at how just solidly Destiny this game is. And I don't know, maybe halfway through the story. I am level 60 because they apparently added some things this week that increased the leveling speed, and there's tutorials that explain how to upgrade all of your stuff. I mean, it's still very mobile game in that there's way too many currencies for everything, but
The thing that I dig is, like, if you need a thing and you don't have it, you can click on the thing and it will tell you, here's some places where you can earn it. Here's some currency conversion shops where you can buy it.
Yep.
And, like, so here's how to solve your problem for not having this resource.
Yeah, it's very simple, and it's, so far at least, pretty straightforward one-to-one on activities of, like, this activity will give you this kind of weapon. This activity will give you this specific resource. Down to, it looks like some of them you can even adjust to, whether you're farming for something that's arc or solar or void. Like, it's pretty nice. And the gacha pulls are surprisingly favorable for the player, as far as I can see, in terms of, like, the pity rate. I had tons of currency just from playing the game. Every time I turn around, the little icon in the corner is lit up because I have turned around and sneezed and gotten a bunch of currency or materials, and I know it won't last, but in the first half of the game it's very frequent and it makes it feel fun. I haven't tried to play it on my phone. I've only played it, in the PC emulator, but the actual gameplay, the gunplay seems completely legit. Yeah, and grouping up with other people is exactly what you would expect. If there's not enough people doing a thing at a given time, it'll just fill in with bots after 30 seconds, so you don't have to sit around and wait. And the bots seem pretty functional.
Yeah, they're perfectly cromulent versions of their character.
Yep. Although it was a little sad when I tried to do sparrow racing and I got all bots. But Yeah, they're sparrow racing. What the heck?
The card game is actually kind of fun. Have
I've
you
only
done much
done
of
it
it?
just a little. I've done some fishing. That wasn't a thing I thought I would be doing, but I definitely did.
I'm trying to level fishing so that I can fish out in the world, because apparently you can't fish out in the world until you get fairly far into the fishing talent system. Yes, there's a talent tree for fishing.
Yes. Yeah, I encountered that today because I unlocked a new zone and I went and I discovered a fishing hole and was very excited, and then realized that I am not tall enough to ride the fishing ride. Apparently, I have to go back to town and fish there some more.
So you're in the second area now. Like I think the second area is way better designed than the first area, but like the first area is fine.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of exploring in the second area yet. I pretty much just got there. But it seems cool, and I love that there's essentially, you know, the kinds of open world quests and events that you would expect from a Destiny game, and they are pretty functional. There seems to usually be other players around doing them. So, yeah, I it's been a long time since I was like this interested and excited to play a shooter, but it's really fun.
What what surprised me is just how well designed each and every hero seems to be, cuz like I've shifted around a lot, and eventually you get to this point in the game where you are leveling your account affinity instead of your level, which means you need to, it's kind of like leveling up in Warframe, where you need to like level a bunch of Warframes and level a bunch of weapons and all that stuff to improve your overall account level. There's a system like that in Destiny Rising. So it's making me branch out and play characters that I've not been playing, so that I can unlock stuff for them to get more points for my account. Which means I'm playing a lot of characters that I didn't play at the start. I mean, I pretty much only played the baseline hero all the way through the campaign and for most of the strikes that I played. But now I've been playing a lot of side characters, and they're all extremely well designed and also can be built in a bunch of different ways.
And have their own story and interactions with the other characters when you load into like various activities. Like that one, I hadn't really paid attention to it early on until the night that you and I were running together. And yeah, like when you load into content with certain pairs of characters, they'll make comments to each other.
Yes, Goth Waifu and Princess Leia are girlfriends, and they will chat back and forth at the loading screen.
But yeah, even, buff ass shield lady will ask the cute Princess Leia, like, how does your hair so nice?
How are makeup? Yolder has no time for such things. Yeah, it's great.
It's been super fun. I've been eager to log back in. I threw them some money for the, subscription thing because I've gotten $20 worth of enjoyment out of this game. And yeah, I'm gonna keep poking at it for a while. And so I just unlocked the heroic content, so heroic strikes and a few other things. So I haven't tried all of them yet, but I did a heroic strike today. It was fun.
Did you pull a mythic weapon?
I did. Yep.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of gotta catch them all for a bit until you've collected all the mythics.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, and that's fine. And in the meantime, I'm just sort of slowly bumping up the power of my characters. I am not just playing the like primary story character. You're forced to play them for the campaign quests, but for other content, I've been swapping back and forth between Shield Lady and the one of the banner characters who has summons, which is, not familiar territory in Destiny, but
Oh, did you pull a Stella?
yeah, I really like the way that she works. She sort of paints a target and then summons things, and they'll attack the target that you paint. And
So there's a bug right now with a Stella that makes a Stella extremely powerful. So there's a lot of times when mobs show up on the screen, but like you can't really start dealing damage to them before the drop pod opens or whatever the mechanic is, like where it's some new enemies are arriving. But like you can apparently sick the little dragon summon thing on that target and it will damage it while it's unfolding. So I don't know how much longer that's going to be in the game. But yeah, it makes it kind of trivializes a lot of the content that has things loading in waves.
that's really funny. I haven't noticed that specifically, but as I've gotten more used to the way her kit works, I definitely noticed that she's pretty reasonably powerful, and like that kind of play style is always my jam, having summons. So I appreciate that there is a character for me.
Well, she's also got a good loadout. She's got a pulse rifle and a heavy machine gun, which is
Yeah.
very versatile.
Yeah, and very, very comfortable. Like the whole thing is extremely comfortable for the way that I like to play. So it's nice.
I've been playing Umiko a lot, which is the Void Ninja character. And she has a scout rifle and a sniper rifle, which is not exactly my playstyle, but is extremely potent in the activities that have other players in them in an antagonistic way. Because you can range them like before they can hit you. She also has a move where she stealths and heals, so that is also extremely good in PVX whatever scenarios.
Is PVX PvP and PvE kind of like
Yeah,
Ultra Right
yeah.
Valley?
Yeah, so they have some modes that are kind of like Gambit was, where it's mostly PvE, but occasionally other players can invade your zone. And if you can wipe the team in all these modes, you get lots of resources. Like there's a mode called Shifting Gates where you're basically like harvesting resources for the engineer of Haven, which is the town that is underneath the Traveler. And like they send you into what appears to be the Vex network which is probably a horrible idea. Because you're basically going through all these little splinter realities while you're doing this event, and you collect these resources. And then at certain phases, it is optional, but players can like go over into other territories to, cause a ruckus. And it eventually funnels you towards like boss fights where everyone on the map is doing one of only a handful of bosses. So yeah, it's a fun little mode. I'm getting like, especially with a heavy ranged character, it's way more enjoyable than it was with my more short range characters. Because I just get whittled to pieces before I could go in and slam the ground and take people out. Yolder is amazing for PvE content, less so with PvP content.
Yeah, I've enjoyed her more than I thought I would. That style of character is not always my jam, getting up on people's faces, but she's fun.
Well, she's now my highest progressed character. Like she has left Solar Default in the wings.
But anyway, yeah, if you don't want to take Belle's admittedly biased word for it, Destiny Rising is actually pretty great.
Well, that's good to hear.
That's super cool.
Sometimes Bell says crazy stuff, like Path of Exile 2 is fun to play.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, it is more fun now than it has been.
That was a low bar.
I mean, I enjoyed myself for a while, but obviously not enough to keep playing it. What is Alabaster Dawn?
Alabaster Dawn is the next game from developers Radical Fish. If that means nothing to you, they were developers of Crosscode, one of the best games ever.
Okay. Like, I know I recognize the name, but I couldn't place a title with them.
Yeah, they made Crosscode, which is an excellent sort of top-down action RPG, not in the Diablo sense, and with like puzzle dungeons. And they're making a new game, which is an action RPG, not in the Diablo sense, with puzzle dungeons. And so really, I'm just here to report, yep, they got a demo for it. Demo will let you play the start of the game, and then some additional sections that they want to show you, like they wanted to show you a dungeon, but they're not any at the very start of the game. So they sort of like fast forward you a bit to some things they want you to see. And I think it's very enjoyable. Unlike Crosscode, you have access to a variety of different weapon types. Like for starters, you get a sword, a hammer, a crossbow, and a chakram thing. And this shows signs of expanding in the future, as well as changing what elements you can use, which is like Crosscode, to both solve puzzles and beat up enemies. The story is like, it's too early to say how it's going to end up, but the premise is that there were all these people empowered by the gods to fight the corruption, but then the gods withdrew their power and bad stuff happened. And you wake up late to find out, hey, crap, bad stuff happened.
So you missed the party, but it was an awful party, so that's probably for the best.
Probably for the best.
Huh.
And what happens there is sort of their premise here. I do not know if everything is going to turn out to be a simulation. I mean, probably not. For those unaware, Crosscode is simulating the world of an MMO, so everything is
Yes.
intentionally,
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
is intentionally a simulation.
Yes.
I should go back and actually beat that game.
Same. I don't think I've actually played it since
It's really fun.
before it got out of early access. Actually, I should correct that because it was.
got
It was.
DLC
Yeah, it's a
now.
really good game.
I played it a bunch in early access, and then took me a long time to actually get back to it and finish it.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt that I do have a soft spot for that whole game that is pretending to be an MMO ever since .hack.
I am on an unrelated topic. I'm mad that it is nearly impossible to play the original .hack quadrilogy.
Yeah.
Right?
You can play the follow-up, but not the originals. But yeah, they put out a demo. They say they will let you carry over your progress, but it's like barely the first hour of the game. So, it's there. I found it very enjoyable. If this is the game they want to make for me, I will gladly pay them more money.
Okay. What is Cast and Chill?
So I've been on and off of an idle game kick, mostly because the world has turned my brain to mush. And while I was looking through various ones to try, I saw this fishing game. And that's not usually my first choice of things, but it had an idle mode. It looked very pretty, and I figured I would give it a try. And it's actually quite delightful. It is a game where you can play it as much or as little as you would like. So you can fully actively choose, your fishing rod and your tackle and, what kind of, boat you're going to use, and actually go to specific places and fish. Or you can AFK and it will completely play the game for you. You can select just how much of the game it plays for you, because there's trophy fish to catch and things like that, and you can tell it, hey, don't do that while you're idle, so that if I want to play, I can do the challenge content. But really, the selling feature of this game is it's just beautiful. It has just incredibly gorgeous pixel art, scenery, a bunch of different areas to go fishing that are just beautiful lakes and rivers and, seaside. And I I don't know, I'm just completely thoroughly charmed by it. Just peacefully sitting on a river watching the bears catch fish nearby and trying to figure out what kind of fishing gear to use to catch the fish because I don't know these things. um, and the actual gameplay, it scratches my gotta catch 'em all sort of itch of, going to all the places and catching all of the fish and trying to get the trophy fish. But really, like, my highest recommendation for it is just it's very pretty. If you want something hanging out in a corner or on a second screen that will just feel extremely chill, this will do it. And hasn't been out for super long, I think, but they just in the last maybe week or two had a major update, added another area, and it's a really pretty kind of fall themed area with beautiful, fall colors on the trees, and I wouldn't have thought I would have been charmed so much by a fishing game, but here we are. So, yeah, if you like fishing games or like idle games or just want something pretty on your screen, I would recommend it. And it's extremely chill, even when you're actively playing.
I'm going to use the term friend of the show because I don't know otherwise how to describe him. But Sita has been trying to sell us on a show called Pantheon that was I think it was on Amazon Prime originally. It got 2 seasons, originally was destined to have more seasons, but got canceled. And they basically wrapped it up, leading to a kind of awkward moments in the second season. But essentially, it is from it's from Titmouse, which is the folks behind Venture Bros, Metalocalypse, a bajillion other cartoons. Art style is somewhat reminiscent of like Avatar style. I'm going to refer to it as an anime because I refer to Avatar as an anime, but there are people that will fight me about that. Y'all need to watch this show. Like, Sita has tried to sell us hard on this show for several weeks. I finally watched it. I understand why. Like, it is a very William Gibson-y transhumanism. What is the experience of what makes a human being in an age of technology kind of experience that centers around the concept that they've figured out how to upload humans into computers and all of the ramifications around that. I highly suggest you watch it. It's 2 8-episode seasons. First season is way slower paced than the second season. But the second season obviously had to be faster paced because they needed to cover the broader strokes of what the story was going to be when it all got wrapped up because they weren't getting a third season. But it sticks the landing and it ends in a really good place. And quite honestly, like, a very memorable head scratcher last couple of episodes. Especially if you liked Iduru, I highly suggest this series.
I'm definitely looking forward to watching it. I've been kind of busy the past week or so. I'm like, yes, I will watch it. I will watch it.
Yeah, like, I started the second season yesterday and I stayed up late until I finished the second season. I wasn't gonna stop because like basically once I got to the end, I'm like, I gotta see where this goes.
Yeah, I'm hoping to start it like tomorrow or something. I just finished up a bunch of work that I had pending. So I feel like, okay, I can sit down and just chill and enjoy something for a while and just enjoy something new to kind of recharge the creative batteries.
It's got great characters. I cried a few times. It's a very memorable show. Digimon Time Stranger.
Speaking of demos, Digimon Time Stranger is the new Digimon story game that is coming out next month. It is a monster collecting RPG like the one before it, Cyber Sleuth. And this one is based on you being a weird investigator and very quickly getting into time-related shenanigans. The entire plot setup is not entirely known to me. The demo contains the very start of the story, but it is the very start, so you don't get much information about even where things are. This is another carry over your progress demo. It has the very start of the game through the first like mini boss. I find it very hard pressed to call that thing a boss, given what Cyber Sleuth later presented. But it does give you the access to the start of systems. You can start seeing how to digivolve things, the various conversion evolution mechanics. If you really wanted to, you could be crazy min-max and like get max stats and make your Digimon learn a whole bunch of different abilities, but you don't need to do that. These games are not that hard. In addition to that part of the demo, though, they have presented a later section, a sort of like, much like the Alabaster Dawn demo, I wanted to show you some things that are just not at the start of the game. So some higher level Digimon, some other forms, and also the game's main hub, which appears to be in the digital world this time. One of the complaints about Cyber Sleuth is that almost all of the areas of the digital world are kind of samey, copy-paste of each other. Because you'd spend no time in the digital world. You just go inside computers in the real world. This one is trying to address that complaint and also coming up with weird story justifications for all this stuff to be happening. I am very much looking forward to it. It's probably going to be my monster collecting game of the year. I realize there's not a ton of competition in this space.
I was about to
There
say
is a Pokemon game coming out next month, so you
There
know.
is.
Oh, snap.
I'm real curious about the weird Pokemon game where you're playing a human Ditto.
Oh,
I
that
wasn't going to
was-
mention that one.
I mean, there's also that eventually, and that looks like nonsense.
I'm looking forward to that one.
I'll probably be picking it up.
Pokemon Animal Crossing.
Basically,
And Pokemon Crossing, yeah.
Pokemon Animal Crossing is made by Tecmo Koei, the Dynasty Warriors people. They do make other games too, but still.
So what you're saying is Ditto's gonna fight 300 things at once.
I was mostly talking about Pokemon Legends, which I may or may not pick up.
CA.
Like, I was very enthusiastic for it, and I've become less enthusiastic for it over time.
Why is that?
It looks cool, but there's so much other stuff.
Sure.
There is that, yeah.
There's a lot.
I was about
There's
to
a
say-
lot going on.
Game of the Year is a really funny topic.
Yeah, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it in a few months.
I probably will be picking it up because. So, my son has finished Pokemon Red. He is a
Mhm.
Pokemon master. He has captured Mewtwo. I'm very proud of him. He's getting real close to finishing up Pokemon Legends Arceus. And he was real excited when he saw a 10% Zygarde in the trailer for Legends CA. So, the degree to which this kid has fallen down the Pokemon hole in the past month and a half is frankly amazing.
Look,
My son is also deep into it, although he is currently very deep in a Silksong hole.
as deep as he was into Minecraft lore, yeah, no, like I'm not shocked at all.
Nope, now he would talk your ear off about Pokemon. That is what would happen. He is he's never particularly been a plushy kind of kid. Like he's had, he has various stuffed things. He's got like a stuffed Mario who mostly he'll like run around and use it as a Mario hammer. I got him a plush Mew recently. He loves this thing. Like he is like, this is his new best friend. It's great.
I'm fully on board with this.
Yeah, very much looking forward to Digimon. This game probably has, like, Cyber Sleuth told a fairly interesting story. I look forward to what story they're planning to tell here.
So I guess I've really not thought about Digimon. I haven't played a Digimon game are the
You can start here.
are the digital monsters like exist inside of the PCs or something, kind of like a Code Lyoko situation, or do they also exist in the real world?
It is frequently a plot point that they have crossed into the real world because X or Y or Z.
But
They don't normally exist in the real world.
okay, that's not the default state.
This does also depend heavily on setting and continuity, because in like the initial few anime, they could just come into the real world just fine.
Okay,
It was
I
a
about to
problem
say.
that they were coming into the real world. But usually there is a separate digital world, which may or may not be a supercomputer, that Digimon actually live in. There usually has to be an event of some kind to connect this to the real world for Digimon to appear in the real world. But also, yeah, this is a great place to get into the series if you wish to, because much like Cyber Sleuth, they treat this as the start of a new continuity. They don't expect you to know anything about Digimon going into it.
So, Hades 2 is officially for realsies coming out this next week.
5 days.
I'm reminded because they're doing a really interesting thing with their 1.0 patch. There is a bunch of content that they have obviously not released. Like quests you cannot do because they're just not enabled in the game, or they require materials that they don't drop. And so they have I don't remember if the first game had a resource you got from beating the final boss, but this one does, and they are removing all of them. Like they're going to translate it into some other resource so that you can't like accidentally skip the story, which is normally I would be like, that's kind of annoying, but like I actually really like that because there's a bunch of stuff that they're adding that's like story stuff that they haven't wanted to have on release, or they haven't wanted to have before release to like preserve the story. And so like they just don't want, they're like, we don't want you to skip it.
Yeah, the first game didn't really. One of the things it gave you when beating the final boss was the same thing it gave you for beating the first boss, Titan's Blood. That was really the only thing you got there.
Yeah, fair point. I couldn't remember. Because I was like, I can't remember how much of the stuff I had. Maybe I want to see what it's like. I did pop it open and see, and I have like a chunk of stuff, not like a crazy amount. They have added a lot, and Silksong is a really interesting example of a sequel for how much they've added to Silksong compared to the original launch Hollow Knight. Hades 2 is a similar example. Like, there's a lot of game in this game, and it's cool. Like, there's a bunch of really cool stuff in it. I'm really excited for, like, other people to play so I can talk about it.
Yep.
But especially, I want to talk about builds. Because I didn't think there was much to talk about in builds in Hades, but boy, is there here. And I'm really excited to see that. I'm super looking forward to the 1.0 release. I'm going to be jumping back into it to like see the story because the story is really neat. And it's been fun to watch the development kind of evolve, even though they basically knew what they were doing. They just needed to like do it. They've been really thoughtful about it, which is, I don't know, super cool. Plus there's a bunch of music.
I do love me good music.
I also think that they have managed to outdo themselves, and I'm hyped.
Yeah, I feel like I need to go back and play Hades a little bit just to get back into the flow of things.
You may wish to not do that, actually.
It's fair.
You know how doing that in Hollow Knight was a bad idea?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that it's a bad idea here.
Okay.
You do not have the same weapons at all.
That is like the only thing I know. People complaining that it's too hard because the character plays completely differently.
The character plays completely different. I will be looking forward to talking about it next week. But yeah, lest anybody forgot, it's coming out. I am as hyped about this one as I was about Silksong, and I'm already even playing it. I'm like, yeah, this is Supergiant. It'd be awesome.
So last week when we talked about it, I had not messed with the fractal event a ton yet, but wow, is it a wild experience. Good kind of wild. Also, it's been shocking just how many brand new players that have never touched a fractal that I'm running into and having conversations with. It has been what I can only describe as a rousing success. And we're still barely into it. I have played more of it than probably any of us. I have basically done everything that's not time gated for the legendary. And started farming what I think are the components to get the additional armor weights, which means I've run like a ton of fractals. But they've been an egregious number of fractals. But yeah, I think you get 3 of the crystalline whatever per fractal, and I've done the 500 of 500 achievement and have ground out.
You get more than 3 per individual fractal. It varies a lot, somewhere between like.
It was hard for me to count what was what, but yeah, basically like I've done a lot of fractals this week, and they go pretty quickly. And I've ran some through traditional group finder as well, because there's some that you have to run for an achievement that's not required for the legendary, but it requires you to do swampland and solid ocean, and I don't remember what the third one is.
Underground facility, I think.
Okay, yeah, underground facility.
Basically, some that are not, let's call them random group friendly.
I was about to say solid ocean.
Solid Ocean's in boss is not group friendly IMO.
But it wasn't too bad. I found a group that was doing all 3, and technically I only needed one of them, but I tagged along for the full group. So we did Solid Ocean last, which was probably good because, that always goes super well. But also just like the sheer amount of stuff that gets thrown at you by this event is just wild, because you end up with 2 bag slots and 2 20 slot bags as a part of, if you do the 500 of 500, you also get like a full set of exotic gear that I think it's all going to be celestial.
That's going to be celestial.
But if you have characters that weren't boosted and didn't get a free set of celestial, this is a way to get it.
Celestial's not so bad.
Celestial's really good.
Not sad about having celestial, frankly.
You also get a ascended accessory with a +10 agony infusion in it, baked into it, that you can choose whatever stat you want. Yes, it is a number of agony that you can't get through the normal system.
You can get the even number. There's just no real reason to.
But I've bumped into a bunch of people that I guess right now there's a whole thing where a bunch of World of Warcraft people are trying Guild Wars 2 for the first time again. Yeah. There's also a bunch of Final Fantasy 14 people that have been pushed there by streamers trying it as well. So it's been wild, just the sheer amount of people that are milling around in Lion's Arch at any given time queuing for fractals. I am curious what's going to happen on Monday, if I just get a legendary or if there's a whole new set of steps to the quest.
There's going to be a new set of steps.
Probably. And it'll probably be collect badges in a few more fractals. And anyway, any other topics anybody has?
I've been playing a game called Tiny Bookshop.
Oh, somehow that was on the list and I somehow missed it.
Because it's tiny.
Yeah.
It is. It's
easily overlooked.
Tiny Bookshop is a delight if you like cozy games about books.
It's real cute.
It's super cute. The premise is Stardew Valley, except instead of leaving your stressful life to start a farm, you're leaving your stressful life to start a book cart, like a little bookshop cart that you drive around town.
You have a bookmobile.
Yeah, you've got a little bookmobile, and you drive it around town.
Decorate it.
Yeah, decorating it, selling books. It's got a bunch of there feels like there's a story to it. And I haven't really gotten very far in the story, but there's a bunch of different characters and they all have different book preferences. And like your gameplay is like each day you take the books you have and arrange them on your bookshelf. You know, your bookshelf can only fit so many books, so you can only put so many books up for sale.
Mhm.
And you open your bookshop for the day wherever in town you've decided to set up shop.
Yep, because you
And
start out with one location and learn about other locations as the game goes along.
you just park your bookmobile and people come up and see if there's any books they want to buy. And the more each person who comes in is looking for like one or two types of books, they have them all separated out by genre. And the more of a given genre you have, the higher the odds that somebody will find the book that they're looking for. So there's this interesting balance between like, do you have enough different types of books that people want to buy your books, or do you have enough that when somebody wants something specific, they'll have like the selection that you're looking for?
And different
like, different-
locations have people who tend to like different sorts of books.
Yeah,
Like at the beach, there's lots of kids who are going to come in looking for kids' books.
yeah. Like there's the like uptight coffee shop that wants the classics only, and so yeah, you're like trying to sell books and buy little additions to your bookshop. Like you can get a little coffee maker and sell coffee.
You can get a typewriter that's definitely not haunted.
Yeah, typewriter's definitely haunted, but it's super chill. Like it's chill, it's cozy, it's super cute. The kind of you buy you like increase your book your book selection by like looking at classifieds ads of people that are like offloading their book collections that you're then gonna like buy and resell secondhand.
Like build up some back stock so you
Yeah.
can fill your shelves. I have more than once managed to run myself completely out of a particular genre of book. It's my own fault.
Yeah, like I picked up I was like, oh hey, we have a surplus of children's books like on the cheap, and I was like, cool, and I've got like 150 children's books.
Mhm.
Crap, I'm not gonna get rid of all of these.
And there's a kind of a mini game. Like occasionally, someone will ask for a recommendation. Like they'll tell you, like, "I'm looking for a book of this sort," and then you can look through the books that you have on the shelf, most of which are real books, and pick one that you think they might like.
Yeah, I love that they have real book. Like most of the books are real, and you can like use the little blurbs about them to like A, be like, oh hey, I want to read that book, or B, like help recommend people. I am really bad at recommending.
I have sold somebody a copy of Nimona and was very happy about that.
Nice.
I've been gotten to recommend people Discworld books. There is not currently any ability to like add books to the game, but the dev has said that is a thing that they would like to add at some point. I would greatly appreciate that. I would love that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then I would spend far too long adding lots and lots of books into this game.
Yeah, like curating your little library. And like the kinds of things that people want for recommendations are kind of all over the place. But you can like maybe this is why I'm bad at it, but they'll like tell you like, oh, I normally only like classics. I'm looking for something that's a lot of adventure and I only like the classics. But like if you find a really good fantasy book that hits the right notes, you can convince them and be like, ooh, now my mind is open to a whole new genre. And that like it feels like that broadens the kinds of books that people are looking for. But I don't know if that's true. There's all kinds of like weird little things that you can find, and partly they decorate your little bookmobile and they have like weird different little things. Certain people, like named characters who come into your bookshop, have effects on other people shopping in your bookshop. So like if you know where they're going to be and you can have somebody who buys a book will stay in your shop and keep shopping until they can't find a book they want. So if you can like cater to those specific named characters, you can like maintain a buff. There's like one character that as long as they're in the shop, people will buy more coffee. And so like if I can keep that person in the shop buying books, I can make a killing selling coffee. And it's like low stakes, it's chill, but it's surprisingly deep for being a little silly and fun.
And then also there's all the decorations that you can get to decorate your little book cart, like generally all have some sort of effect as to what books people will buy. Like the spooky skull increases the chance of selling spooky books, but decreases the chance of selling kids books a little bit, as an example. So you can pick decorations to go with where you're planning to take the book cart to try and sell a particular types of books. Or you can just make your book cart look nice and go somewhere and, sell a decent amount of books.
It's like a calendar of events. Various people will ask you for favors.
Yeah, there's a musician who's looking for inspiration for his next song. So you got to find him some books to inspire him.
I look forward to the version where you can import your own books. That way I can live in a world where the next Lock Tomb book is out. Anyone have any other topics?
Deeprock Survivor, or Deeprock Galactic Survivor, had its 1.0 release.
Ooh.
So if that was something that you were on the fence about or waiting for it to come out of early access, it is now officially launched. Haven't messed around with it a ton, just a little bit. I started a fresh run just so I could see what was new. Unfortunately, some of the new stuff requires you to be a little bit further into the game, so I haven't seen the new game mode yet, but it seems like there's definitely more polish. Some things are, sort of clarified a little bit better. But the gameplay, even when I played it before, was really solid and fun, and it remains that way. So, yeah, if that's a genre of game that you enjoy, I think it's probably worth a look.
I feel like I feel like I should play Deeprock Galactic itself more also, which was super.
See, my thought here was, I wonder if that means they're going to be working more on Rogue Core, which is a game they're developing in the vein of Deeprock Galactic, except you start each mission with basically nothing to get your proper roguelike experience. But they've been keeping themselves busy over there.
I played some Eve Vanguard this week. You played that at one point, hadn't you, Tam?
Which one is that one? Of the
that is the MMO FPS set in the same universe and also has ties to where you're essentially being the private mercenaries of various active corporations.
This is different than Dust 514.
Yeah, what? Yeah,
Dust 514 died apparently because it had horrible technological stack. Like it had like a PHP server back.
It was a PS3 game. I understand this was some time ago. Yeah, but this is not their first try at this particular thing.
Yeah, like it apparently literally just had a PHP server as its back end. So there's some kind of an event going on right now where you can just go out to evanguard.com and sign up and get instant access, and there's a beta test going on, and I thought, yeah, what the heck, I'll try it. It looks like it's going to be interesting, but I've not made it far enough to really determine. Like right now, it's kind of a competent sandbox shooter at the moment. But past that, I don't really know where it's good. Like supposedly at some point you're going to be working for a corporation, running missions for them. Basically, you are the proxy in their proxy war. It could be interesting, but who knows? I just saw it and a YouTuber was talking about it. I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'll download it. I'll install it since I seem to be on a shooter bent. But like, it's one of those things that this could be really interesting or this could be weird.
Huh. It's so weird to me that Eve is still like trying to be super relevant in that particular way. Like you'd think that they had their, vibe, right?
I feel like Eve has a particular problem, and that is that nobody wants to get into Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they had Dust, they had Eve Valkyrie, they're trying this. They want more people to be interested in the Eve universe.
It's very difficult to be into the Eve universe.
Eve does a very specific thing, and if it is not your thing, well, I mean, it's kind of like Path of Exile. I mean, it's very much an in-crowd game that if you are willing to put in the effort to get into it, it is, I'm sure, a wonderful experience, but it requires a lot of you to get into it.
So yeah, I kind of understand why they keep going down the side project branch.
And I think like the grand idea of this is literally at some point is if you are just a hot shot merc, there will be bidding wars between the corps for your attention, buying you nice gear for running missions for them. I think that's where this is headed. Because there's already some of that in that, like, the NPC corporations that you end up working for, like, offer you different things. So, like, you may make a decision to go with this one because you want some sweet shotgun that they're going to give you as a signing bonus, essentially. I think it will be one of those things that is way more interesting to read about than to actually play.
That is the problem with EVE in general.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, I love reading Wilhelm's posts on various EVE wars going on. I don't want to play them. I have no interest in actually playing it.
Anyway, I do wish them luck on this particular side project.
Yeah, hopefully it goes better than Dust. I never could get Dust to play on my PS3. Like I never could get it to connect and do anything. Like I tried several times. It was like a free to download kind of thing. I'm like, this seems interesting enough, but I mean, Star Citizen's kind of got something like that baked in now, doesn't it? Where you can play FPS in that game.
I mean, that's like a core.
That's a pretty core part of Star Citizen.
It's a core part of the game. Their most recent release is like, hey, do you want a whole FPS like mission progression system? Because we got it. There's a whole like huge areas to explore and do stuff in.
Yeah, so you'll frequently get a mission to go land on a planet somewhere, and there will be a base for you to go infiltrate and clear out.
Yeah, that may be a large part of why they're trying to make this happen. I think they feel like they're competing with the same market as Star Citizen.
I'm not sure that's a true statement, but I guess it's nice to want things. I mostly think of Star Citizen competing with the same folks as like Elite Dangerous, and to a somewhat lesser extent, No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
EVE is like off on its own, doing a completely different thing than all of these other games, which are at least somewhat simulationist.
And EVE is its own simulation,
right? I'm like EVE is heavy simulationist. It just is simulating different things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like EVE and the X games are more parallels of each other than even Star Citizen now. Like you said, X4 or whatever version they're on now.
I don't even know what version they're on. I think X4 is the current one.
Anyway, last call for any topics before we wrap things up.
I was gonna say, like, we did have 3 people 100% Silksong.
Indeed.
I don't know if there's much to talk about without delving into serious spoilers, but that game is big. It's so much bigger than there's a lot of game there.
Quite a game.
And I discovered something hilarious today, which is that there's apparently a quest that we were not able to do, because apparently this game has Steel Soul specific content.
Yeah, I'm not
thrilled
about that.
Yeah.
I'll just pretend that doesn't exist.
Yep.
Much like the Pantheon of Hollow Knight in Hollow Knight 1.
Uh-huh.
I do actually wonder if they'll change that later.
What? Oh, making one of the quest lines not Steel Soul? I don't know. But I am definitely, like, I've seen 100%. It was an extremely fun game. I am probably going to go back and do the try and speed run and do a Steel Soul run.
I'll probably hop back in at some point to try and finish up the Hunter's Log and maybe see about, the remaining mementos. But speed run and Steel Soul, no, those aren't happening.
I
know my limits.
I might speed run, but I'm not doing Steel Soul. Like, my play style is not that, and it's more fun that way. I like to just go nuts on enemies, and maybe I die, maybe they die.
Playing Steel Soul, at least in Hollow Knight, requires you to be extremely conservative with a lot of things, and it's not less fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that I will say, like the life hack to Steel Soul is you can always just save and quit, like when you're at 1 or 2 masks.
But like, yeah.
I would be saving and quitting a lot in Silksong, actually.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. That's a kind of, and like, I don't know. Maybe that's a whole topic in and of itself at some point. But like, I'm not playing games so that I can be super careful and conservative about all of my actions. Like, I don't play a racing game to go slow. I can drive to the grocery store for that. I'm not here to be careful.
Well, haven't you been saying this whole time that part of the reason people have a problem with Silksong is you got to realize that you need to be more aggressive? But so
You definitely have to be more aggressive in this game.
It's true. And like,
just that whole Dark Souls versus Bloodborne thing.
It's very much that. And I really enjoy it. Like, I that's my favorite kind of play style. I like to just go. And like, yeah, I'm gonna die. I probably die twice as much as Kodra, but my completion time's about the same.
Mine is way longer.
My 100% completion time was like 47 hours 50 minutes.
Yep, and mine's like 48 hours.
Yeah, like,
and I came in at just under 80.
Admittedly, I lucked out on a couple of things that I would have taken me a lot longer if I hadn't found them. But like, yeah, then if we looked at our like boss stats and like number of times on boss, it's like I'm sure they were different.
Yeah, it is definitely like the other thing that I'm enjoying, because I did like boot up a speed run. Like, just going back and playing the early part, it turns out I'm way better with like the Hunter's kit. And I think I kind of like, the reason I want to replay this game now is to try and play it with different kits. Because I definitely spent a lot of time like playing this game like Hollow Knight by using the most Hollow Knight like kit possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to go back and be like, actually, let me see if I can, like, there is so much mastery I could try and get out of this game by like, can I figure out how to use one of these other crests?
I want a mod that unlocks all of the crests from the start. Or I want a randomizer that randomizes the crest you start with.
Ooh, that is very likely
when the randomizer exists, it's going to do that, specifically that thing.
Yeah.
Because like I wound up ultimately using 4 different crests for different things, and like I thought that was really cool. It was like, it is so rare that a game where I actually feel like, no, I'm going to use these different things for different situations and really adapt. And some fights were just easier with, you know, I personally don't feel like the Wanderer crest is just the Hollow Knight crest, but I guess I can understand why people feel that way.
It gives me the most Hollow Knight like down slash, which is if you are doing
How much time did you spend doing the Reaper, using the Reaper crest?
A decent amount, and it's a little bit too slow.
Fair.
Like, Reaper is a bit slow. Yeah.
Reaper and Witch and one of the others all have like, actually several of them all have different down slashes that feel kind of Hollow Knight-y in various ways. But yeah.
I like the Ranger Reaper, and Beast doesn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Beast
for
definitely is a crest I want to play with, mostly as a challenge to myself.
It's very strong.
It's very strong.
I am bad at it.
It's really great if what you want to do is end a fight immediately.
Yes, that.
And well, if you want to end a fight immediately and you don't want to spend a ton of money doing so, because there are other ways to spend a ton of money doing so.
I've been made aware of the existence of that crest, but I don't have it yet.
Yes, this month has some really cool games, and
it is wild that like this 1 month is going to see the release of Silksong and Hades 2. And so I am already dreading my game of the year, in which you only give me 3 entries to put in, and I already have 5 games that should be at the top of that list.
I mean, you get an honorable mention freeform
a number of them.
Welcome to my
hell every year.
I was about to say, like, I actually, so I have 3 games that I just are like, these are all like probably games that would have been the top of a game of the year list before, which is currently Split Fiction, Blueprints, and Silksong. And I know I should play Clair Obscur. I know I haven't even tried that. I know I'm gonna play Hades 2. I hear actually Borderlands 4 is good.
If it runs on your
If it
machine,
runs on your computer.
it's got performance issues.
That okay. That may be the case. Like, I don't know. I've heard people whom I trust say it's better than Borderlands 2, which was like one of my favorite games. I love Borderlands. It's just they stopped making them.
Yeah, it's one of those weird situations where they just skipped a number in the numbering. I don't know why. It's odd.
Anyway.
Anyway, I think it's probably time to wrap up. Hopefully you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next week. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
See you.